Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Today's session is all about learning how to create a strong strategic plan for our PTA units. We will explore why having a strategic plan is so important and how it can help us stay focused and effective in supporting our school's community. So this training will give you all the tools and knowledge you need to craft your own strategic plan for your units. At this time, I would like to introduce our speaker for this evening, strategic planning, Mr. Arnaldo Russell, Second Vice President, Regional PTA.
Thank you, Ava, so very much. Can everyone see me and hear me clearly?
You can show by a finger, thumbs up, any reaction that you have close by.
Well, nonetheless, yes, I can, right? Okay, so at least one person can see me. We have 22 persons here. So what I would say is welcome and thank you for finding the time. I see a hand. All right, so that means that yes. Okay, great. Thank you, and thank you for finding the time to make yourself available for this strategic training session. So coming from a background working within the military environment, strategy is something that I'm very familiar with. And I would say that it is something that we all need to be familiar with. As presidents and vice presidents and members within an executive, we need to know how we are going to do things. So the word strategy comes from primarily the military. It's strata. It really means how are we going to do what we intend to do or what we'd like to do. Developing a plan of action to accomplish a specific task. So what I will do, I'll go straight into the presentation. And as we go along, feel free to stop me, ask a question, or you can wait till the end and ask your questions. I do not have any issues. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. And for you, the PTA president and vice president, it is very important that you grasp the concepts and ask for clarity, because this determines within your 12 months of service to your school, service to the region, and to the national, what you are going to achieve, how you're going to achieve it. Give to you in order for you to accomplish it. It also has a lot to do with engagement, stakeholder engagement, and that and essentially, very importantly, communication. So let me start sharing my screen. All right, so give me one more thumbs up. Let me make sure everybody's seeing what I have up here. Everybody's seeing a PTA's roadmap to strategic development. Together, we'll explore how to align our vision with action, engage key stakeholders, and set measurable goals that truly transform our schools and communities. So you guys can hit me a thumbs up or wave to make me know that, let me know that we're on the same page. Every now and then I'll ask for affirmation. All right. Ava, is that you seeing thumbs up as I have the screen up? I don't know if they're giving the thumbs up. Yes?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The screen is up
beautiful.
And we can see it.
All right. So I would have spoken to Diego Martin, Primary and Mukurapo and done a hands-on presentation, which is in essence this presentation with these schools. So it gives me great pleasure to now have the opportunity to host all of you.
I mean it willfully. But like how you mentioned certain things, like you want to do something willfully to spite me. So you want to spite me because I'm not spiting you because of that.
Please mute your mic.
So in my sense, I see what.
All right.
Hi everyone, it's Yanis here, and in this video, we will explore what is strategic planning. To achieve your goals in the quickest possible way, you have to become strategic about them. If this is your first
Hi, Analdo. I'm not hearing anything, so I'm just asking if, well, I'm seeing the screen still running, if you pause it. So check it.
Repeat that.
There's no audio right now.
Serious?
Yes, it
I am
just
hearing
stopped
the
after
audio
strategic.
clear.
I don't know what's happening. It just stopped right.
All right, let me go again.
So try again, yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Yanis here, and in this video, we will explore what is strategic planning. To achieve your goals in the quickest possible way, you have to become strategic about them.
Still hearing?
If this is your first on my channel, then make sure you subscribe.
Yes, I'm hearing it. I'll let you know if anything happens.
On my latest videos about time management and productivity. Strategic planning is the process of defining a strategy or direction and making decisions on allocating resources to pursue this strategy. Strategy generally involves setting strategic goals, determining actions to achieve the goals, and mobilizing resources to execute the actions. And while it might sound like something to do with big organizations, it can be used at the personal level as well. You have to be strategic about your health, because if you want to stay healthy, then you have to plan your meals accordingly. You have to be strategic about your fitness to make sure that you're in a good physical shape. And the same goes for your relationships and other areas of your life. Of course, the most important area where strategic planning plays a major role is in your business. You have to be strategic when it comes to planning your business and executing strategies to achieve your goals. There are many moving components when it comes to your business, like products, operations, marketing, accounting, etc. And it will be your job to make sure that all these things are taken care of in the most efficient way possible, because you have to remember that there will be competition in the market. If you don't manage your resources, team, money, software in the most efficient way, then you'll be pushed out of the market and your business will fail. The best approach to become strategic is to sit down and come up with a written plan of what steps you're going to take in order to achieve your desired goals. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I was able to give you a quick summary of what strategic planning is and what role it plays in our life. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could press the like button, as this will help the video reach more people and spread the message.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I'm going to ask everyone, tell me, give me keywords that you would have grasped from just this little video.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So you can post it, you can put it in the, I'm going to stop sharing for 2 seconds. You can put that in the messenger, in the chat. What are key words that you pulled from that video? And I'm writing down as you speak. Shoot.
Am I in?
Say again?
Am I in?
Yes, you are. Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Just making sure.
All right. So I see somebody put organizing. Good. Anyone else? Plan, strategy, right? Strategic planning, right? Planning your strategy, yeah. Management, right? Excellent. We're going good. To develop your plan, same thing, yeah, good. Come on, keep it coming. You all are going very well. All right, I'll throw in one. Goals. Did anybody see or hear the word goals? I did. I'll give you another one. Steps. So 6 key deliverables. Oh, achieve. Excellent. Somebody said something before achieve. Let me pull up the chart. Tactics and action. Yes, tactics and action. I think that's fair enough, you know. Health. 6, 7, 8, 9. Health. Anything else? So just by a simple video, you would have all derived the essence of a strategic plan for your unit. To review, we have planning, mental health. Did I write mental health? Mental health, planning, organizing, plan a strategy, planning again, management, to develop your plan, tactics, and action, and achieve, and health. So in essence, a strategy is the way your organization, your unit, is going to develop a plan of action, manage your resources to achieve your goals step by step, using tactics and actions that are healthy in every aspect of health, mental health, physical health, and spiritual health for the development of your girls. I would have just used all of the words that you guys came up with from the video and derived a simple 3-liner or 4-liner sentences. I would like you to do the same thing. So take 2 minutes, as I said, interactive. The words are there. Just give me 2 sentences that define strategy in your mind using these words. You don't have to use all. So I just did it. It's recorded because I can't remember the same thing again. And when you're ready, take 2 minutes. Give me a sentence or 2 about strategy. So your 2 minutes starts now. Actually, I'll cut you down to 1 minute. So your 1 minute starts now.
Russell.
Where? Next to Russell?
No. Something we were workshop on. I don't go on the gallery and take it in.
Mute your mic, sir. Mute your mic, sir.
Russell, unmute your mic.
I just did.
Okay.
Right here. That was the problem before. That was why you wasn't hearing. When I mute my mic, it cuts off everything here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You guys have just some seconds to go. 10 seconds to go. All right. What I want you to do is unmute your mic. If you could put up a video, put it up, and you speak what you're saying. You can also put it in the chat. So type it in the chat, but speak live into it as well, because this will become part of your framework when you sit with your team. So I would have just went. Don't all rush. Let's go. Well, that's it. Time's up. Let's go. Who's going to go first? Somebody just put something up. You can go first. Carlene Noel from Tranquility. Go ahead.
Yes. My word was health. So you must take care of your overall health in order to function or carry out your duties.
Good. And that aligns with strategy. So I want this sentence to align with your strategic vision for your school. So the health will pertain to the health of your students to your school. Understood, Ms. Noel?
Yes.
Right. So just add in something with your school in it and let's go again. And I'm not giving you not even 2 seconds. Just say the same thing again, but add in a component about your school.
Okay. You must take care of your overall health in order to function or carry out your duties, including students.
Go ahead.
So they will be able to grasp what is being taught to them on a daily basis.
I can live with that. Anybody else?
Excuse, Mr. Russell. Mrs. Thomas asked if you could share your screen again because it's blank, so they could see something in the background. Share screen 4, I think she said. Just
Next
leave it
person.
there. Yeah.
All right, so I see somebody put up something here. Who put up with strategic planning? Shaquille Smith. All right, Shaquille. Shaquille put up with strategic planning and proper management, goals are easier to achieve. Okay, I can live with that. Tessa Vincent Bessor from Belmont Primary, you want to speak? You want to say something? I like what you have here. Tessa or Tessa?
Tessa.
Tessa, let me hear your voice. Come on. Shoot.
Yeah, using the tools that we are being taught in order to form strategies to help our school go forward. That's it.
Exactly. So you're sounding quiet, very soft, but I'll read it for you a little louder. Using tools to achieve a strategic plan for my organization, which is Belmont Government Primary. So you are going to use whatever tools are available, whatever tools that you source, whatever tools that you could create. So you see, I just added something, tools that that's available to you, tools that you can source, and tools that you can create to achieve a strategic plan for your organization. Excellent. So as I speak, you guys can take your footnotes, and when you sit to do your strategic planning, they will add value. So the next person has, I see Melissa, Pierre Daniel, taking time upfront to create a plan. Ms. Daniel, you want to complete it?
Good evening, everybody. Taking time upfront to create a plan with expectation for a positive result. And the reason why I specifically use the word expectation, because with expectation, there is always room for disappointment. However, once you plan ahead, even if something is not working out the way that you wanted, because we planned ahead, we would be able to move on despite the situation or despite the outcome.
So excellent. The term quality control comes in there. So where in project management you reach a hurdle or something doesn't go as planned, you have contingency planning. You redo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we on track. We also have in any plan a monitoring period where we monitor, is this going where we want it to go? Did we get what we were supposed to get to complete it? And if not, we just alter the plan. Alan Peters, St. Rose's Girls.
Mr. Russell, before you go, we had a Roxanne Adrian from Rosary Boys had her hands up.
All right, let me just read this last one and then I'll be acknowledge her, okay? Tactics and action is a detailed outline that broad long-term goals that my organization wishes to achieve. Okay, tactics and actions is a detailed outline that broadly outlines long-term goals that my organization's administration wishes to achieve. Okay, good. I can live with that. I can live with that.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Russell.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm driving and typing. This is Alana Peters. Good night, Mr. Russell.
You want to clarify?
Huh?
You want to clarify?
Yes. For example, my portfolio that I hold is within the treasurer, within my school. And we sit and we try to achieve long-term goals to not only benefit the organization, but also our children. So that's why you sit and you strategize, whatever you have in plan. And it's not for today, for tomorrow, but it's for something that will not only my son, but previous or other ones to come.
Well done. Well done, everyone. I can move on. I am comfortable that we would have understood the concept of just the simple video. All right, so I'm going to move on. So let me get back to where we were.
Strategic.
Right. So this is where we are. In developing your strategy, when I did my research, I would have pulled from 3 sources. You have to look at your external environment, what's going on the outside of your organization, and what's going on the inside, your internal environment. So as I go through it, you would understand what I mean when I say external environment. But we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Somebody had their hand up and wanted a question answered.
Roxanne Adrian from Roshi Boys.
Go ahead, Miss Roxanne. My apologies.
Oh no, it wasn't a question actually. I was just going to share in terms of strategy.
Go ahead.
But in terms of Rosary Boys, and I think strategy is creating strategy per se is knowing exactly what the school wants, and creating the scope and everything detailed to carry out whatever strategy we want.
Stakeholder engagement, communication, an understanding of the culture of the organization. You are on point. Absolutely correct. So the principal, the PTA president, the teachers, the executive, the wider corporate community, down to the very garbage people, the security must be on the same page if we are to achieve the same mission. Yes? So great. Good. Anything you want to add? Because that's beautiful.
No, that was it.
So the next time you're going to be helping me present because you haven't. So there's a theoretical perspective called the stakeholder theory. In this theory, it looks at 3 things: the customers, suppliers, and community. So you would note that the presentation looked at the business component, right? And in the business aspect of things, these are the 3 main groups of persons that you're going to meet: customers, suppliers, and of course, they form your community or an external community that goes through all of the above, your supply chain. Looks like to the right, you're going to see all the stakeholders that engage in business: employees, customers, the community, shareholders, and the wider society. How do we transpose this onto a PTA? Easy. So someone just read off for me our stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? Any president, just read it off for me, or anybody here, read it off for me, please. Let's not all rush. Remember, time is not our friend.
Stakeholders. Students, parents, teachers, Ministry of Education, NGOs, corporation, bodies, business community, and country.
Did I miss anyone? It's very obvious our students, parents, and teachers. The Ministry of Education, they are our major critical stakeholder. But you could flip-flop any one of these because you can say all of them are major stakeholders. You can say the students are our primary product. We are in the business of producing exceptional corporate, exceptional academic, and vocational citizens. You can also say we are in the business of ensuring that our teachers are the top notch in Trinidad and Tobago in the region. And they represent the values and virtues and academia set by the Ministry of Education. Again, I'm using the same words to create sentences that tie back into what we want to achieve. We also have the NGOs, non-government organizations, and the corporate bodies, inclusive of businesses. They employ both teachers, they employ learners, they employ students, eventually, when they become adults, but they employ our parents as well. So everyone has a stake in ensuring our students are at the best that they can be. And all of the above, good students, good teachers, good parents, they make up a community. that eventually feeds into our society, our country. The theory has several benefits in it. That's stakeholder theory. Enhanced reputation, risk management, sustainability and longevity, long-term planning for changing times, informed decisions. Where all of these stakeholders are on the same page, you can have an organization that can gain financially. It's insulated from loss. There are so many ideas in all of the above here. Experience mix. You have a school body, a unit that has a comparative advantage, but there are risks involved. Sometimes the interest of the Ministry of Education may not be the exact same interest as teachers. They say who's on the ground, who feels it knows. If I'm going too fast, tell me. So the Ministry of Education may have one plan. A good example of that would be how we select our students to go to schools now. A lot of our teachers, did not agree 100% with the method. But the ministry said this is what's going to happen now. So sometimes you have competing interests. The PTA may have a divergent interest from the teachers, from the principal, and you get conflict. Your NGOs, your corporate bodies, they may be interested in one type of sponsorship and not the other. Cultural shifts, changing management and resistance to change. So where you have a PTA, sometimes a principal may feel threatened. Sometimes the PTA may feel threatened that the principal is trying to bully them. You may have members in the Ministry of Education with the same mindset, ethical and moral value system. So there shouldn't be a difference or any change in what ethics and morals. I mean, that's a definition that governs everyone. But again, these are things specific to your environment. So if I grew up in a specific type of environment where I believe you hit me, I must hit you back and not forgive, then that's my ethical and moral stance on things. So sometimes when that child or family member goes into a school where you have forgiveness, you have discussion, you have mediation, there are challenges at times. So your stakeholder theory in this context is all the stakeholders here being on the same page. This theory aims at guiding the strategic approach when dealing with various competing and non-competing stakeholders. It also will help identify any gaps arising out of the neglect of any one key stakeholder group and tries to ensure that there is equity and equality and long-term support for everyone involved. So when we look at equity, look at our wall. Everybody we all are at different heights. That's the best example I can give. When you look at equity or equality, we're on the same wall. But because I'm short, I can't see over the wall. Equality, we have one small box for the short man, two tall boxes for the short man, one box for the next tallest guy, and another no box at all for the tallest guy. So you would look at what's equitable and what creates that equal footing for persons to have the advantage that they need in order to succeed. Does that make sense to anybody? We're still talking about strategy. All I did is just tell you about the stakeholders and that everybody should be on the same page. And the theory is there for you. You can research the theory. I'll give you a little brief summary of the theory. So in a second, you all can stop me. We're moving ahead. The next theory I looked at before examining my strategy would be the SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT analysis? So it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Just now, hold on, right? A SWOT analysis is a diagnostic tool that allows organizations to evaluate their internal factors and external environment. It's instrumental when setting the strategic direction or framing future initiatives. It is used to give a clear picture of the PTA and its current internal and external environments. Also key when planning to improve your business model. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities and what are your threats? So I'll give you some examples, right? So in my unit, I would have inherited a strong PTA bond between the principal and the PTA. That's a strength. I've also inherited experienced people being in the PTA. So a strong executive. What is some of my weaknesses? We got limited cash. So cash flow issues, almost no money. We have a school that's aging infrastructure and limited resources, finite, all right? And basically we didn't have a strategy. What is the opportunity that we had? We had the opportunity for community and commercial partnerships, which is, we have Tatil right there. We have Algico, Call Fire, Clico Credit Union. We have bodies around us. We have optometrists. And this is St. Ursula's. So I'm giving you the opportunity for us to reach out to these organizations for sponsorship, partnership, and ideas. What is our threat? All of our schools have criminal components that we are treating with. Not just in the schools. I'm not saying we have criminals in the schools. I'm saying we have the influence of criminality coming into the school based on the environment students come from. We have the external crime that's taking place when you drop off. You have to be careful. We've had issues in my school with persons conducting themselves in front of a girls' school in an inappropriate manner. Social issues that students go through, domestic violence at home, poverty, mental health issues. A number of students have decided to just unalive themselves, and the influence of alcohol and all these other issues. We also have bias and prejudice in some of the groups, stratified groups within your school. So you have the standard ones not talking to the standard twos. You have the bigger girls taking advantage of the younger girls. These are all threats. So here what this is supposed to enable you to do. You are supposed to use your strengths to mitigate your weaknesses or reduce them, capitalize on your opportunities, and eliminate or reduce your threats, if that makes sense. Let that soak in for 2 seconds. So what I would like you to do, another exercise I'm going to give you all, can you identify 2 strengths, 2 weaknesses, 2 opportunities, and 2 threats for me? Put it in the chat, and then we verbalize it. So we're not going to take too long doing that. You have 30 seconds to give me 2 strengths, 2 weaknesses. So just untick your mic, say your strengths, say your weaknesses, say opportunities and your threats, and let somebody else get a chance. The floor is yours.
Hi, Ronaldo. So
go ahead.
I think one of the strengths from Rosary that we don't tap into is that we have a very strong old students. We just need to know how to tap into it, and that's a strength that we have that we need to tap in. In terms of weaknesses, we have a lot of children who come from broken homes, and that affects how children behave. I think the strength is also the opportunity there, just one of it. And the threats, well, I'll let somebody else go for that.
I'll come back to you. I mean, you were going really well. You have any 2 more you want to add as persons are being quiet?
No, I think there's a lot of people here, so I think a lot of people should have opportunities to state what they have.
Okay, sure. Anybody else? You all come on.
Hi, good afternoon. Candace
Identify
Charles
yourself.
Here. Hi, Candace Charles here from Mova Laventille Secondary.
Hi, Mova. Go ahead.
Right. So 2 of our strengths we have is the cooperation we have with the teachers and most of the parents in the school.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of our strengths is our securities. The way the security play the active, do more than what they actually are being paid for. They actually come out, turns out to be like parents to the children.
Beautiful.
One of our weaknesses is that we are coming from Mova Laventille in the back, and we have gangs. Gangs is one of our main weaknesses, trying to keep our students away from the gangs. That's it.
Yeah, you're correct.
Hello, good evening. Melissa Pierre Daniel, Mova Laventille. I'm just adding in regards to what Candice just said. Opportunities is that we have people that have a lot of positive experiences and bring positive reports to the school. For example, I would use Sir Stefan, Mr. Fellowman, for an example. He brings his passion for it, brings a different view and opportunities for the children, right? And that's what I want to feed on. In regards to threats, for me, threats would definitely be the community. Threats would always be, there is a lot of children who don't have, there are a lot of parents who can't afford, and we need to do more to assist. One of my biggest thing is we cannot teach a child on an empty stomach. So let's just use the cafeteria as a first example for me as one of the threats. The cafeteria needs to be better.
So let me add to that. A strength can also be a weakness because you can have a wonderful cafeteria, but you have students that can't afford to buy any cafeteria.
Exactly. And hence the reason I said you can't teach a child on an empty stomach, because if they're hungry, they still will not be able to sustain. So I think not just our school, but a lot of other schools, we need to find other alternatives that it is more cost effective for both the parents and the children, and the PTA, as well as the parents and the teachers. We could come together to create something where we will not be able to assess every child. However, we could try. So probably today, I might be able to give my child $5 extra or $10 extra to assess a child in their class who need. That's just one of my ideas in regards to the threats and, well, opportunities as well.
Folks, also, let's always think outside of the box, right? Even though I'm saying it in this order: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. In your circumstances, your opportunities may form the first thing you want to tackle as part of your strategy. So I'm saying it doesn't have to be, although you identify all of them, you can choose to tackle your weakness first as your first goal, or your threats first, or using your strengths and your opportunities. You can also choose to mix and match a first two. This is all about you. So the person who just spoke last, spoke about building student capacity, can look at what opportunity can be provided for us to link with probably a food court to provide 2 lunches extra a day for free, or the tire shop down the road, ask them if they are willing to sponsor some sort of scholarship I'm just thinking outside of the box. It could be a toolbox scholarship for a parent who's unemployed. It could be a 1-month internship for a parent who is unemployed, which would give this parent the opportunity to provide a meal. All I'm saying is you have to look at what's here and capitalize on whatever you are going through to benefit your school, but it's your strategy. Anybody else? We can move on. Let's move on. Right? I like what I'm hearing so far. So the disadvantage I'm seeing here, gosh, I pressed something I shouldn't have pressed. Right, there is a disadvantage to it, but it's just the same thing as I said before: bias, perception of what is more important and relevant. All right, in this in which order to address it. It does not take into account any overlapping dimensions in each area, as a strength can also be a weakness. So I spoke about that just now. So to summarize, this is your internal framework primarily. It also gives components of your external framework. So you're going to use the SWOT. You're going to use so we just identified in the slide before, we identified your stakeholders, the parents, the teachers, the NGOs. Now we're looking at, so those are my people I have to satisfy. Those are my satisfiers. I must satisfy all of them. I am included in that as well. So I have to include my subjective opinion as well as objectively in all of that, if that makes sense. So when I'm coming up with ideas, I just, what does the teachers want? Where are the students right now and what do they want? Do we have, what does the Ministry of Education say? Go through the Ministry of Education's website and read. What does the PTA, our manual, our training manual, what does the act say that allows us to do? What does it allow us to do? These are things you must go through. Then you look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you say, well, hey, what? I'm going to work on weaknesses first. We have 2 strengths. We have everything there. We're going to work on the strength of being a strong PTA. And we're going to help students. We're going to help students, one of our PTA members, Interfood. We're going to help those students that can't provide meals or clothing, uniforms, or books. And we're going to engage in stakeholders such as the businesses around the school, right? And we're going to invite mediation center to come to the school. Now, I'm saying in this order, come to the school to deal with the criminal influences or children that are harming themselves. Make sense? Right? I can't see any thumbs up, but if it makes sense, we can move on. Is there any questions you guys have for me so far? Feel free to ask. Moving on. So this next slide is an important slide. This is primarily an external tool. It's called PESTLE, P-E-S-T-L-E. It's a mnemonic for, what is a PESTLE? It means political, economic, social, technological or technology, environmental, and legal factors. A PESTLE analysis is what it's really called. So the SWOT is really a SWOT analysis, but PESTLE analysis is what we're looking at. It is a broad fact-finding tool or activity around the external factors that affect an organization's decisions, helping it to maximize opportunities and minimize threats. So what does political mean? If you look at the icon there, political is government. Can anybody give me one little thought about what could be so political that affects our schools or PTA? What politically affects our PTA? Just give me one thing. Shoot. So I'll give you an idea. Laws. All right, let me not use laws because laws can come along. Let me use government policies. Government policies and actions. Anything else? Economics. Economical. What can affect the PTA? What can affect the students in terms of economics?
Job losses for parents.
Okay, be on point. Economic health, inflation, employment, jobs. You are correct. And related impact. So when we have oh gosh, I'm not trying to be political, all right? When we have a small percentage being given back to persons, it impacts on their ability to provide. When we have gas prices going up, it affects persons' disposable income and their opportunities to provide for their children. So social, anybody, what is social? We're seeing people engaging here. What is social? Think child, think teacher, think parent. What socially impacts from the home, social institutions, straight to the school? So I'll give it that one. All right, I'll give it that one. I'll help you guys. Culture. We just spoke about culture. Now, everything ties into everything here. So social is cultural impact and demography of students. Students from San Fernando. What we just say about South people? Can anybody tell me? We say South people is behind, but I'll just leave that right there. From South, you have a certain type of student. From the North, a certain type of student. And being geographic here, we all know the schools that are low performing. That's also a cultural term that is now becoming a norm. Teachers, trends, students, trends. What is a trend right now in school? The population and lifestyle changes. So what society is going through with technology, with artificial intelligence, with the use of tablets, nearly 99.9% of our children have tablets now. And they are engaging in some sort of artificial intelligence interaction on their tablet. Algorithms that engage the students and constantly bring things up that they like to see. So this is having an impact on our students. It also ties into technology, innovativeness, and as fast as technology changes, is as adept these millennials are becoming. We now have to step up. So the PTA cannot stay in their paradigm of I was born in 19-something, 70, 65, and we cannot remain in that paradigm. We have to move forward if we are to be able to manage, monitor, and plan the future. One cannot be stuck in the past and focused on the future at the same time. We can note where we came from, know where we are, and focus on where we'd like to be based on current trends, technologies, economic, social, and political environments. Legal. What regulatory from the Ministry of Education must we be governed, are we governed by, and must we adhere to? And this legal pertains to also regional and international. And can I leave the last one for somebody to tell me something about the environment? Please, somebody tell me something about the environment. How does the environment now impact on our strategic planning? So everything I've said so far impacts on our strategy. How does the environment impact on it? Easy. Rosary again, shoot.
I think so for example, in Rosary, we have because the space is so small and you have accumulation of all sorts of junk around the place. You have all the maxis in front there and all the pollution that affects the children. So again, that affects the school. The noise pollution, terrible. The space, we don't have the space. So then we are with a problem now where you have all these little vermins running around. And as much as we try, there's you can't control every single thing.
You are correct. We have issues with the rising flood waters based on the melting of the polar ice cap. We have issues with pollution in terms of vehicles and so on. As you said, outside of Rosary, this dust, what was it dust they call this Sahara dust? We have these issues. Yeah, you're correct. But we also have learning taking place in terms of the environment. Students are now more now than ever. They have more access to information about the environment, so they are aware of its impact. We also have more information about nutrition. Not just nutrition in terms of what we grow, but how unhealthy eating impacts us as adults when we were doing it and what they are doing now, if it's the same thing or something different. Everything within the environmental context is readily available. And how it impacts on your strategy, you have to understand the context of where your school, the culture of your school, what happens at your school, and the type of parents their social environment. If it's parents from let's say oh my god, I don't want to use it, but a 1%er type environment. Let's say one of the foreign schools, the Canadian school in PT Valley. That environment will be totally different. Like Brentmore, let's use Brentmore. I don't know how much of you are familiar with Brentmore in PT Valley. That's a private school. The private school environment is totally different from the public school environment, right? So there on the hill, Brentmore, they don't experience exhaust from cars and so on. They have good sunlight. Trinity College on the hill, public school, religious school. Total different environment from Tranquil in Port of Spain. So all of these components of the external environment, you have to determine how it impacts on your strategy. So politically, government has changed. Economically, 4% was given to family members within the public service. The minimum wage, has it been increased or not? How is that impacting on our families, our students? The social environment, does every student have access to basic amenities, food, clothing, shelter? Every student, do we have access to school counselors? Do parents, is there a stable home that these children are coming from? How much incidents of fights taking place in the schools? And when we examine it, what are the reasons for it? Technology, does the school have an up-to-date computer lab? Do they have access to internet? Legally, are we in adherence with what the Ministry of Education requires? Is the school in adherence with that? We just had the school-based assessment training that took place, interaction webinar with the district school supervisor. And in terms of the environment, is the school too small for its student population? That's part of the environment. Is it a concrete jungle where we have boys who are moving at 100 kilometers per hour? Girls, the same thing. Should we have schools that are more economic, more plant life around the school and so on, more areas for them to engage in recreational activity? So you are going to look at your stakeholders. You're going to look at your SWOT, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, internal, external. You're going to look at the external environment within your school. Now, this is three ways. In the PTA, you can use it as well. What type of PTA I have, but we're talking about the school. PTA, then your school, then your environment. The PTA, I have a strong PTA strengths and so on. Politically, people insulated, right? We do know we're supposed to. We have an issue. Economics, everybody in the PTA, on the executive, everybody in the school, well off is a private school. Socially, everybody well behaved, there's minimum issues. Technology, the school has everything, 2-3 labs, legally compliant and up to date. We have OSHA on the ground, we have the counselors on the ground, everything is going the way, we have enough teachers, and the environment is the perfect environment. You all understand what I just did there? I just used the first component, tied it into the second component, so the stakeholders tied into our SWOT, using the SWOT, the strengths, strengths to mitigate the weaknesses, to capitalize on the opportunities to reduce our threats. All of that looking at our external environment and how it impacts on us. Let it soak in for 2 seconds. It seems a lot, but it's not. You just have to sit down and start to write or type, as the case may be. Or use AI, it could help you. You never know. So we're moving on again. Just now. Are there any questions? Sorry. So one component that I did miss, and I just want to talk about it for 2 seconds, and that is ethics. So it's an additional E. It's value-based, unbiased selection that is fair and transparent. It's disciplinary, and it involves dispute resolution. So everything that you do here, your strategy must involve a high level of ethical transparency, and it must be value-based. So they're saying that this person does have an advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage is the model facilitates an understanding of the wider business environment. It encourages the development of external and strategic thinking. It can enable an organization to anticipate future business threats and take action to avoid or minimize their impact, which is correct. So government is going to change. You can hold on decisions until that change takes place. You will know what direction the government is taking place. Economically, you can start prepping your parents, you can start your fundraising with the knowledge of what's going on. People don't have much money, but they have skills. Socially, your population loves to have sporting events, or hosting sporting events will build capacity and build teamwork. Then you are going in that direction. You have limited technology, but you can engage with external service providers, then do so to improve the technology at your school. All right. Legally, you have gaps. Invite members of the Ministry of Education who understand the legal framework to your school through your principal to advise parents, or work with your principal and ensure that all the legal requirements for the school is brought up to scratch. And in terms of the environment, if you need to build a wall, come together with your parents and your PTA, corporate sponsors, build a wall. Put up a fence, do it. You need to start a garden in the school to teach them how to rear animals or whatever you choose to do. You are the source of that, and your strategy should incorporate that. Okay? So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of it. Are there any questions so far? You all can feel free to take a coffee break. So just look at this slide. Strong PTA body, that's the example I gave you. Limited resources, yes, but we have a community that is very much a partnership-oriented community, opportunity, and a threat, which we just spoke of, which is the social issues that our schools are or have no choice but to work around. Parent Teachers Association executive theme. What does this mean? So I saw it fit to throw a theme up. When you're doing your plan, you can choose to have a focus. A focus, again, linked to any one of your weaknesses or your threats. So for St. Ursula, we have our old aging infrastructure. Restore and rebuild. We wanted to restore and rebuild some of the school's assets. We were able to build up the wall with the principal's support and the teacher's support, and the gate. Restore and rebuild and secure, because there were threats of persons jumping the wall. Education, we were able to link with the mediation center and educate our teachers and have the mediation board engage our standard 3s, our standard 4s, and our standard 5s. Accountability, so you can have a theme and delivery. So all of the restore and rebuild, we were able to deliver. Education, we were able to deliver. Results. And it's all transparent. So you can choose any theme or a number of themes, like pillars of transformation, and let your strategy focus around those pillars. So I'm going to ask the parent from Rosary, do you understand what I just said? The president from Rosary, sorry, do you understand what I just said? I'm going to ask Antonia Holder, do you have any issues with what I just said? I'm going to ask Crystal Peters this very same question. So we're moving on. Almost done. Bear with me. What is a vision statement? When you're developing your strategy, one of the low-hanging fruits is to develop a vision and a mission. So a vision statement is in a PTA strategic plan expresses the long-term goal of creating a strong collaborative school community that supports every child's success. Right? Sorry, that's coming off like that. That supports every child's success. It inspires and guides the PTA's action and priorities. So your vision is a long-term goal and objective. So I'm going to give you 3 examples here. Can someone read 1, another person read 2, and another person read 3 for me, please? This is just examples of a long-term vision. Shoot.
So
vision statement 1.
Oh, go ahead, Roxanne.
To ensure every student reaches their full potential by engaging the support of the family, schools, and wider community.
Go one time. Vision 2, somebody else.
To empower parents, teachers, and the students to achieve their academic, vocational, and social goals through the effective collaboration and cooperation of the parents, students, teachers, and their communities.
If you can see 3, go ahead. Anybody? To connect students to communities by effectively engaging their parents, teachers, and
to connect students
sectors.
to community by effectively engaging their parents, teachers, and commercial sectors to ensure the success and positive contribution to their, I can't see anything more.
Their society.
Their society.
So your vision is your long-term goal. Each and every one of you can develop a vision. Your mission is what you're going to do now to reach that goal. So your vision, in every company, there's a vision. The vision is futuristic. They're going to get there. The mission is now. So the mission in a PTA strategic plan defines the PTA's core purpose, supporting students by strengthening the partnership between parents and teachers and the school. It outlines what the PTA does, who it serves, and how it makes a difference. These are the examples of a mission. Same thing like just now. Read it to me, someone. Same thing like just now. Anybody?
Mission statement 1, to provide the necessary structure for students to achieve their full potential through the collective collaboration of all stakeholders, the family, school, and wider community.
Ensure the empowerment of students to achieve their full potential through the communication and cooperation of all the stakeholders in the learning and development process.
And 3, if we can see it, go ahead.
To create an environment of continuous social learning by inclusivity, collaboration, communication, and the commitment of all stakeholders, all focus on one goal, the success of our students.
Yeah. So if I go back, I'm not going to go back, but your vision must tie, your mission must tie into your vision. All right. So you're not going to see much difference, but there is a difference. Let me go back one. Let me really go back and show you. Right about here. So vision, to to ensure every student reaches their full potential by engaging the support of the family, schools, and wider community, right? To provide the necessary structure for students to achieve their full potential through the collective collaboration of all stakeholders. Are we seeing the similarity? Talk to me. We saw the similarities. I just used mission and vision 1. So when it's recorded, so you'll get to go back for yourself. You will see that vision 1 and mission 1 work hand in hand. Vision 2, let's go and see what's taking place in vision. To empower parents, teachers, and students to achieve their academic, vocational, and social goals through the effective collaboration and cooperation of the parents, students, teachers, and their families. Ensuring the empowerment of students, oh gosh, right? Ensuring the empowerment of our students to achieve their full potential. Are we seeing it? So your vision is futuristic. Your mission is the steps we take to achieve that vision. It's a low-hanging fruit. Now, when we do that, those are the first steps. We now can come up with core objectives for our PTA. In a PTA strategic plan, there is specificity. It's specific, measurable steps that are taken. The PTA will take to achieve its mission and vision. That's one. They break down broad goals into clear actions that guide planning, track progress, and drive impact. So these are just examples of some of the objectives: supporting parents in achieving their children's academic goals, supporting parents in raising disciplined, tolerant, and productive students. I'm just jumping. Encouraging a more engaging environment where parent-teachers issues can be effectively addressed. What you will do is have your vision. As a group, come up with your vision, come up with your mission, and then write down some core objectives that you want to achieve. And you can tap into this, not a problem. Let's look at the last one: create an environment of innovation and creativity for student learning. But note, once you write it here, you now have to drill down and determine, how am I going to achieve this objective? So it doesn't stop here. The second to last one: improve the image of the school as a major institution of learning. One, it means improving their academia. It means working on their academia to ensure that they are as academic as possible. It means working on the engagement with corporate institutions. It means working, my apologies, it means working on the engagement with the teachers, the parents, everybody involved in the learning process. What are core values? In a PTA, a strategic plan, the core values are the fundamental beliefs and principles that guide the PTA's behavior, decisions, and culture. They reflect what the PTA stands for and shape how members work together to support students, families, and the school. So these are some examples of core values. Can you please read off those core values for me?
Respect. We value the individual contribution of parents, teachers, students, and volunteers. As partners, as we work collaboratively to achieve our shared vision and mission.
Go ahead, come on, let's go. Core values: respect, ethical behavior. That was respect, ethical behavior.
Ethical behavior conducts ourselves with professional competence, fairness, impartiality, efficiency, and effectiveness. Respect the diversity of opinions and the rules that govern the organization.
Academic success. Academic achievement, attainment of learning objectives, acquisition of desired skills and competencies, satisfaction, persistence, and post-primary school performance. Somebody read the last one.
Putting diversity and inclusion into action with skills and intentionality to ensure everyone feels respected, supported, and valued, and can fully participate with equal voice and right to be heard.
If we go online and we look at Massey stores, we look at NIPDEC, we look at the Port Authority, you would see all of the above that we just did. All you are doing is bringing your organization up to the level of the corporate entity. It's no longer just I dare say, backyard PTA. It's now a unit that has a vision, that has a mission, that has core values that guides its members and their behavior. So they are respectful, they have ethical foundations, they encourage and instill academic success. Now, I say academic covers all areas of success, and it's a diverse and inclusive organization. Respect each other through ethical behavior as we promote each other in the attempt to achieve the PTA's objectives. So on the right, you see collaboration, respect, and I'm not seeing value-based at the end there. Strategic perspective again, strengths, weaknesses, and threats and outcomes. Experience, connectivity, resources, commitment, leadership. This is where you should be. This is what you should have. Gain the experience, source the experience, make friends, connect, make business relations, communicate. Resources, develop your resources, earn your resources, source your resources, commit to the PTA, commit, get your parents, get your corporate organizations to commit and lead. The PTA must lead by example. Lead the school, leverage the school's leadership, lead the corporate business community in order to mitigate your weaknesses, which is always going to be a state of limited financial resources, the community, the school itself, the environment, everything we just spoke about. And what are the outcomes? So you will have fundraising events, initiatives. This is how we're going to do this. We just spoke about your corporate partnerships. You would have an increased parental support. The reputation of the school now becomes a little more enhanced, a little better. Branding and marketing opportunities. So it's no longer Success Lab until the ordinary old Success Lab until I have been to the school. It's excellent. You now have a school that is air conditioned throughout. A school whose students are creative and innovative. A school that has the raw talent that represents Trinidad and Tobago in competitions locally, regionally, and abroad. Your goals will be short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Major deliverables with your PTA. Just look at some of the things that you would seek to achieve: your compliance, public health issues, any construction issues, fire alarm prevention. This is just examples. So let me read up something for you here, right?
Arnaldo, just before you go on.
Sure.
And you were talking about Success Lab Intel, and I just want to share just before you go on very quickly. So through work, we did some volunteer work in Success Lab Intel. It's a school I've never been to before. I've always passed it, and I always admired the mango tree in the yard. But going in the school, I met some of the most amazing students. And I think all these students need is a chance and an opportunity to excel. So we did it through United Way. Unicoma did it through United Way. So what we did, we went in, we plant flowers, interact with the students, and I am amazed at the students. I think they're curious, they're willing, they're helpful, and I think all they need is a chance. So once the parents are on board with that school and they get the help, you'll have some amazing success with that school.
I've been there and I was very well surprised. Not that I didn't think they had the potential or capability, but the school is one of the better infrastructural schools in Trinidad and Tobago. It's beautiful for learning. The environment though, so you take a beautiful school and you put it in a hot area. That's the challenge they have because the students do come from the area.
I totally agree because I have a daughter going Success also. And I have a son going Mova Laventil. And I must say Success have some of the most dedicated teachers I've ever seen. Teachers who go above and beyond for their kids.
We had one interaction with the principal, that is the PTA regional president, and myself, and I was literally blown away. I felt like doing anything and everything possible for these students outside of my own unit and the other students, but they impressed me that much. So these are some of your deliverers. I'll just give some examples here for you that you can look at when you're doing your plan, when you're doing your walkthrough. So I'm going to go through this step-by-step process after. So this is just an idea of some of your short-term goals, fundraising, your social media. You want to get on this. Let's look at fundraising first, sorry. $100 a term, $20 a term, a month, or you can tell them, listen, at the beginning of the term, just give us $50. It would help in whatever small way, in order for the PTA to do stuff. We can't do stuff without funding. How do we get funding? We raise funds, we ask for funds, I wouldn't say beg for funds, but we beg for funds, we beg for resources. Sometimes you don't need the cash, you just need the product. All right, so sponsorship is what you're going for, right? So there it is, formation of events, fundraising committees, and so on. So you form committees to treat with this. So you have short-term, long-term, and medium-term goals. You have short-term fundraising, medium and long-term fundraising. A long-term fundraising would be every term, this is what comes into the PT at the end of the year, this is what came in. Short-term fundraising is events in the moment. So for the term 1, we have 2 events. One event, the bazaar, is a short-term event, but it's a consistent event. So some of it hinges on something else, on another event. Social media. Do we have a Facebook page? Do we have Instagram or TikTok? So your PTA may actually benefit from exposure on these platforms. Again, advertising, the media can tell you, make you buy anything. You can sell anything, you can influence anyone. So it's a good idea to have some sort of techie on board, or leverage the resources of the region and get help from another school. This region is one region. And let us develop a Mokorapo, Success Lavantil, Diggle Martin Secondary, Diggle Martin Primary, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok page, to the extent where you are able to, in real time, post beneficial things to the school from the ministry, from external bodies, as the case may be, on the page. What creates a page or makes a page come to life is the fact that it is always up to date and there is always something exciting, stimulating, motivating on the page. I'm not a social media guru, but I am on social media quite a lot. So what grabs me, you have to know what grabs you. 90% of the time we're on TikTok or something like that. And if you recall, those teachers that had their class do TikTok videos, they got quite a large viewership. Put that in the back of your head and keep it. So those low-performing schools, they do the little 2-minute, 1-minute dance. Beautiful. They are going to be recognized. And then when they do their graduation and you hear how much of them 5, 4, or trade school, whatever, you are very well going to be impressed. Committees. Your constitution has the various committees. I'm just throwing out some committees here. Your finance committee would engage with your fundraising. Your education committee with learning and development. Your welfare committee would deal with the social issues that are faced by your school, and that ties into the PESL. And of course, your PR and your corporate communications. These are all committees that you need to have, and your strategy must incorporate all of the above. Partnerships, corporate and state, partnership, protective services, state and corporate bodies. These are all going to form part of your strategy. So this again is a strategic timeline. Everything is timely. I just gave some examples here. So when I came in, let's say October to December, I just say a PTA bank account, we got 10,000, or we want a minimum of 10,000 at the end of December. So from October to December, due to fundraising, we want to get 10,000. How are we going to get this? We're going to engage the corporate sponsors. All right. And the funds are going to spend on construction. We're going to collect raw materials from the parents who can donate. We have skilled tradesmen. And we're going to start phase 1. We're going to host PTA workshops, October to December 2025. January to March 26, we say, all right, from the fundraising that we did in the last quarter of December 25, October, December, we now have $50,000 from the new contributions of parents. We engage in some more corporate sponsorship and fundraising. We are able now to ensure the school is in compliance and the fire services have no issues. We have extinguishers that are up to date. We are now going to go into phase 2 and 3, right? We continue with staff and parent workshops. This is a timeline, Now, notice a strategy that we developed based on our SWOT, our PESL, and we walked it step by step. We wrote down what we wanted to achieve, and we gave timelines. April to June, PTA accounts now 75,000. Same thing applies. We are now able to produce a staff room, a music room, and we collect even more raw materials for more infrastructural work. And at the end of our term, which is from December 25, we came in, October to December, that's September we came in. It's now September 26. We would have a count of 150,000. We would have engaged in a number of fundraising activities. We have a solid corporate partnership. We have completed staff room, music room, and all construction projects are completed. We commence and continue with the staff training and hand over to the new PTA. Mission accomplished. Does that make sense? Did I confuse anyone?
Not at all. Make a lot of good sense.
So before question and answers, let me just go through the step by step for you all, right? So the first step this is actually digging down inside. So I'm going to run through it a little quickly because I want you all to ask your questions. So you can write as I speak, or I will send this document, another document to you. You need to identify which group of persons are directly influenced by you, the PTA, right? And why they're influenced by you. Which group, number two, you need to identify which group can influence your decision-making process as an executive. That is your stakeholders, eh? Which group directly aligns with our core values, vision, and mission statement? 4, which group will be directly impacted by any good and poor decisions we make from question 1, 2, and 3. And the 5th one is which group will be indirectly impacted by any good and poor decisions you make. So the questions that you're asking yourself, which stakeholder will be impacted first, second, and third? Which one will have the greatest influence on our decision-making process? And by using that, you now come up with something called a stakeholder analysis matrix. So you're asking yourself, who do I keep satisfied? Who do I monitor? Who do I manage closely? And who do I keep informed? That is a matrix right there. So I will send this other document. I don't want to put it up, but I'll send it to you. So we have already identified your stakeholders, right? Number 2, step 2, your goals and objectives. Your vision and mission comes in here. So I'll give an example. To increase the financial position of the PT, to support the infrastructural, social, and educational needs of the students. I just merged the two right there, right? What are our key performance indicators or KPIs? These also form our key success factors. So I'll give 2 examples. We want to increase our financial accounts from 20,000 by December, from whatever it is now to 20,000 by December 2025, right? And increase our financial position up to 50,000, hopefully, by the beginning of 2026. Vision, mission, objectives, core values, as the case may be. This is our mantra. We want to improve our infrastructural work, ACs, fans, computers. We want to build a staff room. We want to add value to the staff room by giving them an office space additional, by giving them a counselor's room, add music to the curriculum, and extra classes or sporting activities. These our key performance indicators would only become our key success factors if we achieve these things. So key stakeholders to support these KPIs include the Ministry of Education, the church, the business community. All of the stakeholders are just engaged. You have to determine which one of the stakeholders have the major influence on you achieving these things. What are the outcomes? Greater support for the school objectives, including parents, students, and the ministry. We leverage lobbying. We leverage or lobby the ministry for resources. We're not protesting, but we're writing through the region. We're saying, listen, we have a school that has a 99% pass rate. We want this. Because of your past success, you now have influence over the ministry, hopefully, in that regard. Or even the religious diocese, if it's Catholic or Anglican, they're going to listen to you because you're successful. More structured and organized PTA executive gives you more power and influence. You have a more empowered PTA body. The region is now training PTAs. This is part of the training. Let more of your members participate to develop their own capacity and provide their own skills to the mix so they can add value to the training as well. Ability to support other schools achieve their goals. We one help one. I am my brother's keeper. So St. Ursula is willing to help Rosary, is willing to help Success, is willing to help Belmont, and so the story goes. All the institutions become model institutions once we follow the strategy, and the private schools no longer have an edge on us in terms of image. And there's a multiplier effect, a holistic effect on student education in terms of pass rate, increased application for entry. Now we have more people wanting to go success. Because wait now, how come success is only 6, 7, 8? I mean, everybody passing everything. Increased patronage by parents. Parents who are now success influences success. You don't want to be left behind, so you're gonna support as a parent. Greater support from corporate and public entities. Everybody wants to be associated with success. Note that. So Success Laventille is Mokrapo West, Mokrapo East is now producing excellent students. The environment is changing. Everybody wants to be branded with that school now. Step 3, identify any gaps in your strategy. Point 1, are there any key stakeholders absent from the list? Is there an objective that isn't being identified? Will our needs and that of our stakeholders grow over time? And if so, how can we meet that need? Right? Step 4, ensure strategic alignment with stakeholder objectives. Review the strategy from the eyes of each stakeholder and determine if it meets the needs of each group. Review goals and objectives and ensure its alignment with the vision, the mission, and the objectives and the core values. Remember, all of us have a stake in this. So your parents have one view. Your teachers another view. The ministry, you as the PTA developing your strategy has to see what each one of them wants to achieve and meet them 100 or half. But you can meet them based on your strategic outlook. Implementation. So this is how we implement. Step 5. So the others was implementation, but this is implementation in detail. Rally your team and stakeholders and get them on board with the changes. Have a meeting. Host frequent meetings or host productive meetings. No, it mustn't be death by PowerPoint or death by chatter. It must be results oriented. This is what we need to do. We need ideas. You get your ideas. You identify, you delegate who's going to do what. You give a time frame. You have persons come back and meet the time frame, give further suggestions. You make a final decision, and then you execute. Share the why behind these shifts and ensure everyone knows their part in the plan. People tend to want to know why. Let them know why we're doing it, all right, and what is their part in it. Keep a close eye on how things are progressing. Track your results and be open to further refinements. We spoke about that early on. When things change, have contingency plans in place. Ensure everyone understands that this isn't just about meeting stakeholder needs. It's about forging more meaningful connections with your key stakeholders. Form committees, I spoke about that. Develop policies and procedures in line with regulatory and legal requirements. If your PTA requires, I'm just saying, dress and deportment policy, talk to the region. Develop our internal policy and say, listen, once we have meetings and so on, and we're meeting with people, try not to come in no crocs. I'm not saying this is what you have to do, but I'm saying you have to develop some sort of disciplinary guiding process that adds value to your PTA. Do so. The final one is monitor and review. Assess and critique the strategy and processes. So give it some time, see if it's working. The first term pass, right, we take this box, we take that box. This didn't work, let's change it. Get feedback. The PTA presidents, we tend to think we know everything sometimes. We get caught up in leading. And sometimes we get tired of leading. Let your VP step up. Ask your team their ideas and sometimes accept criticism. Team members must be able to accept criticism in any strategy and move on. No tough love. It doesn't mean you're the mean people or you break them down. It means that your conduct must always be in a way to treat people as professionals with respect. Measure achievements against your KPIs. Did we succeed with this key performance indicator? Yes, it becomes a key success factor. We move on. We achieve it halfway. Why we achieve it halfway? Why we didn't achieve 100? Measure it, assess, move on. Either we adapt, modify, we change it, discard it, move on. Account for gaps and mitigate, remedy, and consult. Same thing as you're measuring the achievements, you account for the gaps, you mitigate. You remedy the situation, you consult about it, and you move on. Provide training, replace support as necessary. Sometimes your team requires training. You can get that training from the corporate entities. You have the expertise sometimes in the teaching staff. You can say, hey, miss, I need your counselor to come on board to do some mitigation or train us or teach us something. Miss, I've engaged in this I've engaged the Ministry of Social Development in this. I've engaged the Ministry of Agriculture in this, and they are willing to provide this service. And you move on. So again, in summary, your strategic plan should be a plan, which is a tool to help you achieve your objectives. You execute the plan using this tool, monitoring it, measuring it. And finally, you assess the tool or using the KPIs, your key performance indicators, and determine if they have become key success factors, if they define your success by the level of accomplishment of all of your objectives. So your goals and objectives, where am I right now? How am I going to get where I'm going to get? What are some of the resisting factors that contribute or hold me back or add value? Have I achieved it? Why I didn't achieve it? And where do I go from here? Full circle. I think I've given you all quite a bit to think about. I will now ask you all, are there any questions?
Port of Spain.
Don't all rush me at once. I know I gave you all a lot.
I have one question, Arnaldo, and it pertains to social media. Like, how should we view social media, manage social media? Because that it's social media could be a hit or miss.
Yes.
And I think there's a fine line between what you want to post, whether you want to keep it private or whatnot. But I think it could be managed where you can turn off certain comments for certain things, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people here know who Stefan Felmin is because he is a teacher in Mova Laventel. And he posts a lot of positive things about his students. He gets a lot of encouragement for his students, and I follow him because I like how he posts. But in terms of PTA thing, and I think we could use social media to our advantage in terms of highlighting what the student has achieved, what they do. But it's just knowing the thin line and not knowing what to cross, because there's a lot of ethical guidelines for that as well. How do you advise on that?
I would guide you to the Ministry of Education's policy on social media, and that's a guide as well. But it emphasizes the digital fluency, and stakeholder engagement in its digital transformation theme. It maintains a zero tolerance policy for inappropriate use of social media in schools and has guidelines for school events that require the Chief Education Officer's approval for external speakers. So some of the social media components or things that we want to do, we need to go through the principal and let the principal know, get the principal's input or approval for some of these things. What I have done in my unit, I've sent out a form asking parents to give consent to post their children's photos. Once the parent gives consent, fine. Without consent, it's inappropriate to do so. You have to be guided by these zero tolerance policies or social media policies as defined by the ministry. You also have to engage your principal and the parents as well in the PTAs and so on about this very sensitive topic. It is a hit and miss. And trust me, if you miss, you're not going to hear the end of it. So, and it can impact on your school as well. It can put the principal out, it can put the school in a negative light. So you're quite correct. It's something that the region will work on, and what we can do is actually do a session on social media.
Hi, good night.
Hey, hi, is this the president?
Yes, it is.
So can I defer this question to you as you're a social media expert?
Right. So we actually have a PRO training on Tuesday and on Thursday. It is ideally for the PROs of the region, but all members can attend the meeting, and all of these questions will be addressed as it pertains to social media.
There we go.
To social media, to branding your PTA, to designing your logo, to ensure that you have proper bright guidelines, to identify which avenue is good for you, which media avenue is good for you, whether it's social media, whether you want to use conventional media, whether you want to use website, no matter what it is, we will cover all those areas in the PRO training next.
Talk to me. Are we satisfied with that response? I am. Nick of time. So they will that training will also cover the Ministry of Education's policy part. Any other question or statement? It's not a question, it's a statement. You make the statement. It's something motivational, you make it. It's something along the lines of what you've done so far. Let me know.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Just want to ask a question. It's a little, I think it's a little off your topic, but I just want a bit of clarity. Please, in the beginning, there was a statement in educating where a statement was made where they said that PTA funds is not the school funds. However, me saying now, we understand that when PTA do fundraisers, it will be contributed, it would be used for contributions in the school. So is it possible we could get just a little more clarity on that, please?
What that PTA funds is what? I didn't hear that last part.
They said that PTA funds is not the school funds. So we
right.
understand that the school cannot make demands on it.
No,
However, we know that the PTA will be making contributions because they are to contribute in building the school, right? But could we just have a little more clarity on it, please?
So we have
possible?
sessions, just as what the president said, there are sessions on the Constitution, and the Constitution speaks to funding. So I would advise that when that we're supposed to have another session coming up, I have a copy of my Constitution here. It's correct. The PTA funds are directly PTA funds for PTA usage. So once that training comes up, I would hope that you get on board, that everybody gets on board, and the clarity, there will be no ambiguity. Our first vice president, she's been very fluent and very clear on those things. So I understand where you're coming from, and I know there are some other presidents have issues, but your funding is your funding. But you must account for those funding in a transparent and financially frugal manner, because again, it's public funds, and you can be held to account and brought before the courts, as the case may be. So I don't know if that answers it in the short run, but in the long run, you will have a session where you would know your Constitution, and that is in the Constitution. PTA funds and dues and things along those lines. What more clarity? Let me tell you, what exactly is the concern?
No. More clarity in the sense that I understand what it is they say, and I understand that the school doesn't cannot demand the funds. It's just that it's a thin line, because even though the school doesn't demand the funds, it is our responsibility to build the school. So question meaning, if like the school wants to do something, however they are unable to do it, is it like they could come to the PTA and say, here's what we want to do, X, Y, and Z, we are unable to do it, so we want to know if you all would be willing to assist us, not demand, because we understand the fact that they cannot demand our funds. So that is where I just wanted to have like a little clarity.
You've just answered the question. Yes.
Yes. Hi, good night. Can I add to that as well, please?
Sure.
Hi.
Yeah, I was
good
going
night.
to do the same.
Madam First Vice, good, thank you.
Yeah.
Guys,
no problem.
first of all, let me apologize to everyone for not being on the session tonight. We actually had back-to-back meetings today, and we just installed a new executive at St. Dominic's. So I've been in and out of the session, but you all have been in good hands with our second vice president. The PTA, the Constitution, our Act of Parliament allows us as PTA to be able to manage our own funds. And it seems as if you have a fair understanding, a very good understanding exactly of what we can do with our funds. It is our money. We make it. We have the right to bank it. A principal cannot tell you how to spend your money. However, our purpose, our aim, our mission, our vision is for home and school united for the good of the child. What we want is for our children in school and at home to have a holistic environment where they can thrive. In order to do that, the PTA cannot be working onto themselves. There must be some sort of collaboration with the principals. If you, one of the first things that you should do if you become a new time unit, or if you are at beginning your term, you sit with your principal and you make your plans. The principal will tell you this is what we are trying to achieve. Remember, we're talking about strategic planning now. So what are you trying to achieve for this term? Where can the PTA help? And then can come back to your executive as a president and say, listen, the PTA, the principal wants this help, get them to have some form of consensus, and then you can support the principal. At the end of the day, what you want to have is collaborations. We are doing our best as well as on a regional level. We are meeting several principals almost weekly. We are meeting different principals, and we are reinforcing what exactly are the rights of the PTA, what they can ask for, and we're trying to ensure that they understand that they cannot demand that a principal, or PTAs rather, is supposed to give them funds because this is what you want. But at the end of the day, your goal is to support the principal as well as the school. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to have some form of collaboration, but the funds is yours. If you decide you don't want to do it, sorry, miss, we're not doing it. However, how will that help your relationship? So you want to ensure that you buy into whatever it is the principal, whatever fundraising she may need, whatever help you want to give her. Sure, you can do it if you want, but the decision is entirely up to the executive. Remember, the principal is also ex officio on your unit. They can participate, they can ask, but they don't have a vote. So if you have to make a vote before your executive, and that's in our constitution, if you have to make a vote within your executive, whether or not you should adhere to the principal's request, you can discuss it among yourselves. Your executive can vote. The principal can weigh in on the conversation, but they themselves do not have a vote. And that is also to protect the rights of the PTA members. So I hope I was able to address that concern. Madam First Vice, I didn't know if you have anything that you wanted to add, but these are questions that will be added to our president's training that we will have coming up in the boot camp on Saturday, as well as we'll be doing online president's training as well. So all of these sort of questions we'll be able to answer there, and you all could always reach out to your region rep when you have concerns, or myself, or any of the other vice presidents.
Okay, so what I was going to add is that so like our president indicated, it's a collaboration. So it doesn't necessarily mean if there's something that the principal wants done, that the only way the PTA can assist is by handing over funds. There are various avenues, and that is where the collaboration comes in. You can help drive a event, you can help plan an event, you can get people to come in and host an event. You can reach out on behalf of the school to certain sponsors or corporate bodies that the school might be able to do on its own. So anything along those lines. So there are different avenues or different options rather than simply handing over any funds that you raise to the principal, right? So that is where the line is. You don't, like our president say, you do not have to hand over your funds to the principal when they want something. But once you have that collaborative relationship, you can support the principal in any means necessary to be able to achieve whatever it is they need to get done.
Thank you, Madam President and Madam First Vice. I trust that would have answered all our questions. Is there any statement, question, anything further that anybody wants to add before I give my my little final statements?
The Environs region, the Lighthouse region, Port of Spain, and
Right. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And I would want to take the opportunity to say thank you all for coming out. But I do have an assignment for you. I enjoy the strategic perspectives. I enjoy looking at the plans and helping tweak the plans. So I'm available. Put your plans down on paper. You can put it on a PowerPoint if you so choose, 4 or 5 slides as the case may be, and you can send it to me. I'll vet it and I'll send it back to you. Or you can do your meetings have your meetings, and when you have your executive meeting, invite me, present to me and let me critique it. I do not have a problem. Please, okay, I don't have a problem with that at all. Our connections, the stakeholders, what is that a question? Or our condition of the environment? Please, Ms. Thompson, clarify what you're asking. I don't know if I'm watching the right thing. I see 11 something, 11 questions. Thanks. Good night, everyone. Thanks. Okay, if you have to leave, no problem. I have to jump off informative, right? Does anyone have a question? Oh, right. Any help? Right. So I'm just reading you what you'll have here. I'm willing to help you guys develop your plan. I would like by the end of, we're in June, by the end of July, for the latest, you all have a strategic plan in place. So I am willing to support you, leverage my resource, take my time, it's yours, and let's have a strategic plan for every unit in PoS Environs. Everyone who's here, please advise those units that you know couldn't make it. Let them contact me. They're going to get the presentation. They help out. If I have to come to the school, I'll do so. If I have to talk to you all on a meeting, I'll do so. So again, thank you for your time and for your patience. I'd like to hand, if there's no more questions, hand back over to our gracious host, Miss Ava Ash. Ava?
Thank you, Mr. Russell, for that quite enlightening and detailed bit of information as it relates to strategic planning. As well as I just want to remind everyone before we depart as such, the attendance register is in the chat, posted a few times just to ensure that persons complete the attendance register. Once again, thank you for your questions and answers, for all the information that was put out. I hope it is very useful and helpful. And at this time, I would like to also hand over to our Regents President, Mrs. Jana Thomas. Ms. Jana.
Hi, good night again. Sorry, guys, I was driving. Okay, so not much for me. I just want to tell everybody thank you for coming out. This session, all these sessions that we are having is really a part of our own mission. So the region, at the beginning of the new executive, we would have sat and we did our own strategic plan. And I just want to read the first sentence of our mission. Is to strengthen the role of our PTAs within the PoS Environs region by empowering units through leadership training, which is what we're doing now, resource support, which is what we are doing with all of the documents that we are sharing, the starting guides, the welcome package, the PTA toolkit, and effective engagement with school administrators. And the reason why I wanted to read that, we are also meeting the principals, as I messaged before, and that is in an attempt to strengthen the relationship between PTAs and principals, because we know that there's a struggle. So members, if you are having any issues with your principals, if you feel you need an additional support, you want us to come in and meet your principal, have a discussion, solve any issues, even if you're having it within your unit, please do reach out to us. We are more than willing to come in, have a meeting, sit with your principal, or even if you just want us to have a sensitization session. We are also doing those sessions now where we are talking about the benefits of the PTA. We're talking about the support of the PTA. We know we are nearing the end of the year and we're going into election season in September. You want to ensure that you have informed parents coming on to the PTA. So please feel free to book one of those sessions with us via your region representative. And what I will ask the PRO to do is to post the list of all the representatives that are assigned to your unit. So when you have your questions, you need your follow-up, you can go directly to your region representative. So again, thank everyone. I know that this week and last week, and by some extent, the early part of next week has been very grueling with all these sessions that we are having. But we are trying to achieve our mission, our strategic plan, which is to ensure that we have built the capacity of all our executives and all of our units so that we can improve how we serve our children. and our parents within the region. So thank you very much, everyone. Again, thank you very much to my second vice president for a very informative session tonight. And we look forward to seeing you all engage with all our sessions coming up. So thank you very much again, and have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Madam President, and thank you all for being here. And with this, we close until our next meeting, which will be tomorrow for our financial planning session. Thank you again, and have a pleasant night.
Ms. Ash, I believe you have the post control set in the meeting, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Good.